Let's get it. Boom. Hey. Damn.
An aerial view of downtown Boston, our location tonight, gives you a great idea of the beauty of this historic city.
19 wins and 49 losses.
As the crowds look to cheer on this. And before we get going, let's catch up with our Hall of Famer David Aldridge and a chance to speak with head coach Brad Stevens. David, what do you have to say?
Well, Kevin, he said overall he's been pleased with their performances against this team, but even at 2-0 against them, he still thinks there's room for improvement. He said, we've won both games, but there have been stretches where they have not played us. We can't let that happen tonight. Hard guy to please sometimes. Kevin?
Thank you, David. Two teams tonight that love to get out and run. Brent, talk about some of the keys to being effective in the transition game.
Well, one part about transition, Kevin, is the first couple steps that anybody takes to get out on the break. I mean, there is a skill to running hard in transition, and then secondarily getting wide in the lane. So many coaches are yelling at their players about creating space by getting to the sidelines as quickly as possible. Those two things can make you pretty dynamic in the open floor.
And so off the tip, it's Boston. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. And so in the game for the Hawks, Schroeder and Bazemore are in the backcourt. Brent's out there with Elliott.
This John B.
And Coach Mike Budenholzer, a product of the San Antonio coaching tree, learned a lot in his decade plus as a lead assistant under Greg Popovich.
I think one key for Mike Budenholzer is that he understands that
they cheated me.
Staff can really elevate the level of play for the basketball team, and that each of those coaches has an open door policy. You can walk in, you can have a conversation, you can gripe a little bit, and then try to build on something so that the team ends up better off because of those open lines of communication.
Irving dishes to Hayward. Bosh, the screen. Pocket 6. Smart kicks to Banks. And now the pass break. Schroeder with the ball. He's now 1 for 2 with that bucket.
You can see how Schroeder's eyes get big whenever he has a chance like that. Surprising from the point guard position.
Here's Banks. And he drops him away up off the glass. You think back to all the great NBA players who have been spokesmen for Gatorade break. The latest name on that list now, that's right, you guessed it, DJ.
And that is lofty company to DJ Jordan. Jordan, the original Gatorade man, but they've had guys like Paul George.
That free ball is good. Irving's got himself on the board with 3 there.
When you make shots like that, Kevin, Kyrie is showing just how confident he is in his offensive ability.
Her passes to Dedmon. Prince, right side. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder.
A little tit-for-tat action going on the back-to-back trade.
A little gamesmanship from range could force both defenses to maybe extend out a little further.
The shot's good from Banks.
And where's the help? Obviously, a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Well, you have to be able to trust each other on the defensive end of the floor. Otherwise, the whole thing is just going to crumble.
Clear passes to Elliott. Back to Schroeder. Knocks it loose. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touch by Schroeder. And here we can now take a look at how the ratio was between the 3s and the 2s last season for the Hawks.
And the three-point shot was a huge part of their game plan. When it was falling, it made them very hard to defend. Opponents were stretched out all over the place.
Irving dishes to Banks.
What the fuck? Oh, he
He
did.
did just enough to keep him from scoring. I thought that was in for sure.
And Dennis Schroeder plays the game with a real flair, tremendous confidence in his ability.
But sometimes that gets him in a bit of trouble too, Kevin. You got to minimize some of the energy that you put into the antics that are happening around the game and put that kind of energy back into the game. But still a talented young point guard and a guy who wants to measure himself up against the best in the league every night.
And stolen by Prince.
I'm not playing good.
And Bazemore kicks to Prince. And that misses. That would have put him up. The Celtics have gone 3 of 4 from the field throughout the game. Here's Banks.
Okay.
And Atlanta will go the other way.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I remember last time they met up, they just got ran out of the building. They weren't too happy with some of the calls in that game either.
Yeah, they wound up with a lot of foul trouble, but that's on them. The officials were calling it tight, and they never really adjusted. They kept committing fouls, kept complaining, and the game kept getting out of control.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish. And Atlanta calls their first time out of the game. Well, you played for 6 different teams. What does it feel like? Just over a minute gone here in the second quarter. On the court for Atlanta. Filling out the wings, it's Bazemore and Prince. Elliott is out there with Dwayne Dedmon, and it's Schroeder in at the point guard position. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2.
This is where I can see Schroeder's game improving. More patience and poise. He excels at using his strong pump fake to his advantage.
Bruh, if we lose this game on my
It's
set.
all about consistency with him. His routine, his stroke, it never wavers.
It's Banks with the drive, and that one good. Banks has got 9.
The point guard that has floor awareness has the advantage. This time it's Kyrie Irving.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. The beast in the last matchup against the Pistons was superb on the floor. He finished with 45 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what became a great exhibition on his part. It's rare to see any player put up numbers like that. It's likely a game he'll always remember. Kevin?
Great, David. Appreciate it. Well, he set the bar pretty high for himself with that performance.
He did. I mean, but we know he's going to try to raise that bar again tonight. No matter how good he is, he's always thinking he can do better.
And the great players are never satisfied. We'll see what he does in the next one.
Elliott passes to Prince. Bazemore on the wing. Guarded by Smart.
Oh my God.
Bazemore's got the lead. Back up to 8 now for the Hawks.
Bazemore looking pretty comfortable on the inside there, weaving around for that too.
Left side Banks. Tries again, and it's good on the way. Banks has got
Get rebounds out here, boy.
Beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Dedmon dishes to Bazemore. Dedmon kicks it over to Schroeder. Again, the Hawks score.
Schroeder continuing to build his confidence, shooting the ball from the perimeter. I'd like to see him square up and sink those Jays.
Bosch passes to Banks.
That's it.
Schroeder with the ball. He had a 30-point outing their last game against Oklahoma City.
Well, what helps that out a lot is he got to the free throw line, which was a real game changer. It slowed down the opposition's momentum and made them play to his team stop.
Outside Banks.